A few more Badruls and Selangor will fall. Just like Perak. And what happened to Perak? Again, you put all these jokers and we say, ayo, tolonglah this. In the end. And they said they're victim. Victim of what? That they were trapped. That, UMNO offered them women and they didn't know it was a trap. Come on, you're a Muslim. UMNO offer you women. What trap you talking about? Yeah? And he said, no, this is not corruption. He said, this is gifts God. God's gift. A gift. Come on. So, these are the characters. Even Wan Azizah was shocked. He said, rezeki Tuhan. Blessing of God. Hey, whether it's cash or women, corruption is corruption. And how can you say that this is blessing from God? Come on, as a Muslim. But these are the characters. So we want an end to this nonsense. And we're telling you is, these are the candidates. But show us, okay? Show us that you can better this. That you have as good or better candidates. We back off. But if we throw a few more of these frogs from Perak, a few more Zul Nordins and Ibrahim Alis and a few more Badruls, and if I go for your throat, don't blame me. Because I tell you, even the voters, even if I don't go for three-corner fight, even the voters will kick you out. So, this is not, I'm threatening them that I'm going to go for three-corner fight. But what I'm telling them is that you better be sure who your candidates are. Because even if I back off, the voters will not, okay? And Anwar himself did say this. The next election, the quality of the candidates is going to be very, very crucial. This came from Anwar himself. Yeah.
To win in the next elections, the opposition friendly forces need to win seats in Sabah and Sarawak. Can you tell us a little bit about what sort of candidates MCLM intends to put forward for those Eastern Malaysian seats?
Okay, if you're talking about state, in particular state seats. Now we believe that Sabah and Sarawak politics is very different from West Malaysian politics. Sabah and Sarawak is very tribal. You got the Dayaks, you got the Ibans, you got the Kadazans, you got the Bajaus, you got the Melanaus, and so on. They're very, very tribal. And I believe, this is my personal belief, I believe that we have to allow the East Malaysians to manage their own politics. There should be less interference from federal, from Semenanjung. You see, the East Malaysians actually resent West Malaysia. When Sabah Sarawak agreed to form Malaysia, it was on the same status as Malaya. Sabah Sarawak did not agree, and Singapore, the three, Sabah Sarawak, they did not agree to be one of the states of Malaysia, like Selangor, Perak, Johor, Negeri Sembilan, and so on. They were supposed to be at par with Malaya. Now they have been reduced to the status of just a state. Now they resent that because to them, you cannot put us at a lower level of a state. We are on the same level as Malaya, and that's why Lee Kuan Yew refused to be chief minister. Lee Kuan Yew wanted to be prime minister. Tengku Rahman said, "How can we have two prime ministers? We can have two prime ministers." So eventually, the quarrel between Tengku Rahman and Lee Kuan Yew, some say Singapore left, some say Malaysia threw Singapore out. But historians have, different views, interpreted differently for the same incident. But whatever the case may be, Sabah Sarawak, they're very cemburu, they're very jealous about their territory. And I believe we should allow Sabah Sarawak to handle their own politics. In a way, Sabah Sarawak has partial autonomy, though not full autonomy. For instance, Sabah Sarawak, they can ban you from going there. Selangor cannot ban you from going Selangor unless the Sultan has displeasure against a member of his family without going into details Sultans still unfortunately have the power to ban you from their state. But the immigration in Selangor, you cannot fly into Selangor and immigration look at your passport and kick you out of Selangor, but they can in Sabah Sarawak. Sabah Sarawak lawyers can practice in West Malaysia. West Malaysian lawyers cannot practice in Sabah Sarawak, you know. So this is the partial autonomy that they have. So we should therefore give them full autonomy as far as their politics is concerned. Now, after saying that, while I believe we should not, and I use the word interfere, because interfere is the way the East Malaysians look at us, though we might say we are not interfering, they think we're interfering. So while I say we do not interfere in Sabah Sarawak, but Sabah Sarawak is very important, don't forget, yeah, Sarawak controls 31 parliament seats, Sabah 25, plus Labuan. So 25 plus 1, 26 plus 31, that's 57. 57 out of 222, you know. So 57 out of 222, as what Barisan said, Sabah Sarawak is the fixed deposit. If you want to form the federal government, you have to win Sabah Sarawak. If you don't win Sabah Sarawak, it doesn't matter how many seats you win in West Malaysia, you'll never get to form the federal government. Sabah Sarawak is very, very crucial to whoever wants to form the federal government. So can confidently tell you now, without giving you too much details at this point, that we are in negotiations with Sabah and Sarawak minorities. The Ibans, the Kadazans, the Dayaks, and so on. There are many regional parties there, and regional parties meaning tribal-based parties, which is the way things are done there, you know. The tribes are very important. So we are in discussions with them about an electoral pact. And if the electoral pact, at the moment, things seem to be developing okay, and if the electoral pact is finally announced, we shall form an alliance with political parties from Sabah and Sarawak. Without going in to kacau them, but we work with them. That's what we want to do. It's 3 o'clock, but we started slightly late because we had to move the table and set up internet. So if there's still more questions, I suppose we can still proceed, unless everyone is tired, you know. If you feel that there's important issues to discuss, we can go on a few more minutes, yeah? We have no problem.
Any further questions?
Yeah, okay. Talking about the newspaper, you actually mentioned that each state is given one license for printing. So like, say Selangor now, they have Selangor Kini. Wouldn't that mean that Selangor actually has to stop publishing their Selangor Kini so that you can publish your newspaper legally?
Well, I can't give too much details now about what we're doing. But yes, we are working with the state government, and we're basically talking about a state newspaper, yeah. Well, we have something up our sleeve, let's just say that, you know. And I keep it up my sleeve at the moment.
Yes.
Last question.
Sir.
Is it possible for you as Raja Pattaya to refrain from attacking the Pakatan Rakyat during the pre-election times so that to avoid giving them ammunition in your embassy, in the mainstream newspaper, to attack Pakatan Rakyat? Wait until the Pakatan Rakyat get into the government, you can attack them up and down the country.
No, it's the other way around. If we tolerate any nonsense,
They will use it as an ammunition to attack the Pakatan Rakyat. You give them the ammunition because they will twist around. I know you have good intention. You have a good intention to improve the party image.
no, it's easy. It's easy. All Pakatan Rakyat has got to do is don't give me that ammunition.
But the trouble is that they're going to twist it around, give them the ammunition, to attack, to deceive the world.
Yeah, but if Pakatan Rakyat doesn't do things that allows me to attack them, then I can't attack them, isn't it?
Yeah, I know. But
I mean, you know, I've been asked this before. I say, look, if you strip naked and go running down the street naked, and I attack you, then it's my fault. In the first place, don't do it. If you don't go running around naked, I got nothing to use against you.
see, our aim is to win the elections.
Our aim is not to win the election. Our aim is not to win the election. Our aim is to reform the political system. If you say our aim is to win the election, or our aim is to form the new government, there's many ways of doing it. There's many ways of doing it. We can send the army in to take over military government. What? We can control what? Why we need elections? We can actually close down parliament and run the country without elections. But is that how we want to hold power?
But then we have to wait for the next round. You see, we keep attacking.
No. We can't compromise. We can't say we tolerate the nonsense, help you become the government, and after you become the government, then we get you to stop the noise. Hey, once they're in government already, and I attack them, they put me under ISA. Well, you think Pakatan won't put me under ISA? Better we attack them now, they become the government, a clean government, rather than we help them become a dirty government. After they become dirty government, and then I want them to change, they put me inside.
But is it possible for you to do it behind the closed door?
No.
Is it not possible? So
Pakatan has to understand that they're going to be they're going to be audited with a fine-tooth comb. They're going to be subjected to public opinion. They have got to be conscious of the opinion of the public. Now, before they form the government, this is the culture. Once they form the government, it's very hard to make them understand. They say, why do I need to listen to you? I can form the government without listening to you. Now I need to listen to you. You can't. Don't let them have power the wrong way. Make sure that they take power the right way. Because if they take power the wrong way, and later you want them to reform, why the hell should they reform? There's no reason to reform. So they have got to understand that the only way they're going to have power is if they do it the right way. Get it right from the beginning. So I don't agree to that. If the objective is just to take power, just to form the government, okay,
it's better than the Abdul Minute. If you do it like that.
that is the common argument that people use. You see, it's better that we have this guy because this guy only raped and killed 10 women. The other guy raped and killed 100. So between that guy and this guy's still better. He only killed 10 women and raped and killed 10 women. The other guy worse. He raped and killed 100. Hey, even if it had been one woman, still not acceptable. So we can't use this comparison that, Pakatan not good, but Barisan worse. So when you compare worse and not good is still better. Tak boleh lah. We don't want worse and not good. We want between no good and good. That's the comparison we want to use. So I disagree with you on that. That's the common argument. I've heard that argument so many times before. Let them form the government first and then we talk later. If they can cope, if they can form the government without talking, why do they need to talk to us after that?
Yes, Brian.
Pat, you have oftentimes predicted, had forecasts about election victories. Even the recent by-elections, I think you predicted Kelantan will fall, PAS will lose, and it proved to be correct. So let's look at the big picture stuff arising from that gentleman's comments. What is your forecast? Do you think we have a chance for Putrajaya?
Loaded question.
I think it's going to be a hung parliament.
Yes.
I think it's going to be a hung parliament. Now, the deciding factors, or the deciding factor of who's actually going to form the government will rest a lot on Sabah and Sarawak. But at this point of time, Sabah, Sarawak are very unhappy. They're unhappy with both Pakatan as well as Barisan. So how Pakatan handles East Malaysia, and currently they're not handling it the right way, but how Pakatan handles East Malaysia will have a very great factor on who gets to form the government. As I said, Labuan, Sabah, Sarawak, they have 57 seats out of 222. In West Malaysia, it's going to actually be very delicately split. You're not going to see much difference between the two. But what happens if Sabah Sarawak decides to abandon both Pakatan as well as Barisan? Currently, the sentiments in Sabah Sarawak is both Pakatan and Barisan hopeless. So we better go totally independent. My concern is that there's going to be a lot of three-corner fights in Sabah Sarawak. Maybe even four-corner fights in Sabah Sarawak. Who's going to come out the winner? I don't know. Because Sabah Sarawak, a lot of them will are going to vote based on candidates, not based on party. If it's Jeffrey Kittingan, if it's Pairin Kittingan, or so on, contesting, even if they contest as independents, remember once Pairin Kittingan resigned from the party and contested as independent, and he won. He won because he's Pairin, not because of the party he represents. So this is the sentiments of Sabah Sarawak. Now, unfortunately, Pakatan is trying to push the Islamic agenda because they're scared of UMNO. Because you might have noticed recently UMNO is playing up the Islamic agenda and the Ketuanan Melayu agenda quite a lot. Anwar is being accused of being traitor to the Malay race, traitor to Islam and all that kind of thing. Now, to counter this allegation from UMNO, he's got to be seen also to be promoting the Islamic agenda. In Sabah, Sarawak, they don't care about your Islamic agenda. You have people within the same family, Christians, Muslims, and even three worshippers in the same family. You find even that, you might have Muslims and Christians in the same family, and the Muslims also drink tuak and eat pork, To them, it's a culture, nothing. So here, the Islamic thing is not very strong. So you can't push Islamic. My worry, my concern is that Pakatan is not handling East Malaysia the right way. And it might backfire. It doesn't mean if it backfires, it's going to go in favor of Barisan either. Even Barisan also has problems. So I don't know, because I don't know the Sabah Sarawak sentiments. But we are going to see over the next 1 or 2 months changes in Sabah Sarawak. I think by this month also, by this December and by January next month, we're going to see some shifting sands in Sabah Sarawak. Maybe you ask me this in Chinese New Year time, I can give you a more accurate prediction by then, the chips will all fall, and when we see where they fall, then we will know exactly, the direction is going to go. But at the moment, it doesn't look good for both sides. So don't be surprised, this so-called third force that you're talking about is not us, it's not West Malaysia. It might actually be Sabah Sarawak, who comes out as that third force. By not by design, but by chance.
So based on that very fact, don't you think therefore that MCLM, the civil societies groups, should work harder with Sabah and Sarawak, because they know that your agenda is totally different?
No, we are already doing that. Have you heard of Radio Free?
RPK,
Radio Free Sarawak.
It's not clear to the general public.
Okay. Radio Free Sarawak is already broadcasting in Iban, and so we're trying to see whether we can extend the broadcasting hours and have maybe like some of the other dialects and Kadazan dialects and things like that, And so to reach the East Malaysia, because you see, way in the long houses, they got no internet. They've never heard of Malaysia today. They don't have TV. So of course they don't use BlackBerry and stuff like that. But they have shortwave radios. And we even trying to distribute shortwave radios free I haven't told the committee yet because but we even, cheap shortwave radios, all these plastic things, distribute to the long houses so that those in the long house can listen to Radio Free Sarawak. And as of a few days ago, I'm doing daily 5 to 10 minutes transmission. Komentar RPK. I give daily commentaries on current issues. So every day between 5 to 10 minutes, 6 minutes, 7 minutes, 8 minutes commentary on current issues to those Iban people. And of course I have to speak Bahasa Malaysia. I hope to learn Bahasa Iban as I go along. But they say the fastest way to learn a language is to have a girlfriend. So I'm still talking to my wife about that,